Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. Yes, indeed, it is a little after 7 p.m. Ran a few minutes late. I apologize. Interesting news for those of you who care. We're talking about the vice presidential pick. Today, we know that Joe Biden is picking Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris. She is the VP nod. Guys, let's talk about this. Please like, comment, and share. This does matter as always. Let's let people know what's going on here. I am disappointed. To be forward, I am. But follow me on Twitter. Be disappointed with me. Follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, go ahead. Follow me on Facebook. And, of course, subscribe to me on YouTube to make sure people know what is going on. Yeah, there are a lot of comments here. And one of the first things I want to bring up is I'm disappointed because there's a chance that she might actually be the president one day. I actually preferred, it's going to sound crazy, I preferred Rice. And the reason why I preferred Rice is because if Joe Biden wins this thing in November, Rice has no personality and she can't run an election. So I thought, oh, okay, that just ends right there. If Biden wins, that's the game. We're done. We got 4 years of Biden and we move on. But Harris has personality. I'm not happy about it. But she has personality and has won elections before and can raise money and knows this game. Why I'm so disappointed is if Biden wins this thing, Harris has got a shot at being president in 4 years. Oh, my God. I did not want to see that or hear that at all. I was hoping as somebody, who just, well, it'll get him over the top and then move on. Not a great pick from my point of view. That's my point, right? What a joke. Are the Dems just used to the, that's why they take it? No. I think the real issue here, right, more than anything else, if you really understand this, and I told you this about 2 weeks ago, and many of you, a week ago, and many of you did not believe me. I told you that the Democrats right now are actually trying to not go socialist. They're trying to go more mainstream. Biden is mainstream. Harris is mainstream. Harris, believe it or not, for those of you who are watching who are black, you'll understand this. Harris isn't a gift to the black community. She's not. She's a cop. She was top cop in the 90s, putting black people away. She's raised by a Hindu mom. Both her parents are immigrants. That's not the black experience, nor is that the socialist left. You want that, you grab Stacey Abrams out of Georgia. That's a gift to the black population. This actually is taking the black population for granted. Some of you will be upset by that, but that's what this is. This is a Clinton move. If you remember Clinton in the 90s, Clinton said, oh, I've got Democrats. To hell with Democrats. Let me move to the middle and I'll win the election by moving to the middle. This is Biden doing Clinton politics of the 90s, right? He is basically taking the black population for granted. Oh, I got you, so I'll give you Harris. I'm not going to give you Stacey Abrams or even Rice, who, Rice is more of a neocon, but D.C., this is not a push. You had D.C., Georgia, and you went Oakland, raised by Hindu mom. Top cop, put black people in jail for 20 years or however long, 10 years, however long it's been. This was not a gift to the black community. That's for sure. It wasn't. This was what I told you last week. This is Democrats taking advantage of COVID. And as much as I hate it, it's wrong. It's immoral. Man, it's smart. I know some of you are mad when I say that, but man, it's smart. It is ruthless, but it's smart. Knowing that because of what's happened with the government response to COVID, for so many people, so many Americans, a chunk enough just want to go back to whatever they think is normal. They're just so upset and crazy. So let's just do something that looks kind of normalish as politics. We'll just do that. No radical socialism. We won't do that. We won't do that. That's what they're saying. If you remember, neither of those two talked about socialism or Medicare for all, any of that stuff. They didn't talk about it at all. This is going to be a middle of the road. Biden stays in the basement. Kamala comes out and yells at Trump campaign. Now, Kamala's good at yelling at people. Prosecutor. She's good at yelling at people getting angry. She yelled at Biden. So Kamala will yell at Trump for the next 3 months. Biden will stay in the basement, and they're going to hope to cruise out to victory. The reason why I think he picked is that, but something else. She raises money. I still get her emails asking to give her money. I take a lot of emails from people on the list so I can see how they're raising money. Clearly, it's what I do for a living, so I do that. She's one of the people who I'm on their list. Oh my God, she's raising money constantly. And I was like, oh my God, she's good at raising money. She polls well. It might be her, and I can't stand it. I'm not happy with the choice because I fear she could be an actual competitor in 2024. And I really didn't want that to be true. I was hoping of someone who was a lightweight or had no personality or something like that. So I would never support the major parties again. The funny thing is my wife was a 20-year Democrat, right? She's not anymore, but she was. And she can't stand Kamala. She's like, this woman's horrible. She's mean and nasty and terrible. I'm like, yeah. And Biden was like, we're in. All good. Absolutely. Yeah, so she changed her mind regarding Biden being a racist. It's funny, Jonathan, how a shot at the vice presidency will change your mind all of a sudden. Did I say racist? No, I meant racer. I meant he drives cars fast, and I'm mad at him for that because I'm a cop and you should obey the speed limit. I meant racer, not racist. See? Misunderstanding, Jonathan. That's all that was. Absolutely. Yes, Kamala is a cop. Without a doubt, Kamala is a cop. Absolutely. Yes. I already know what it's discussing is heading. Biden just helped Trump big time. I'm not sure of that, Steffi. I'm unsure, right? Because Trump is, of course, going to attack her, which is what he does. But he's good at that, right? The problem is, can Trump, and Trump's good at this, so he might be able to, can he find an effective attack against her, right? The advantage that Biden just did is now he's just going to sick Kamala on Trump for the next 3 months, just yelling and screaming at him all day. And the press is going to cover her yelling and screaming about Trump. That's drama. That's drama. They're going to throw it up like it's tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think the next 3 months will tell whether this was an error that he made. I don't think it was. I think it was actually a savvy move, even though I don't like it at all, because I think he's kind of ignoring the black population and saying, look, I checked a box. She's a woman and she's of color. I checked the box, guys. I'm not Trump, and I checked the box to vote for me. And if you know the left, as well as I know the left, a lot of people on the left just hate Trump. Now, who I think he did help, believe it or not, was Howie Hawkins. Some of you may not be sure, but I had Howie on my show about 2 weeks ago or so. Howie's as left as they come. And openly, if you watch that show, he was like, this is how we're going to seize the companies. He was like, yep, he was absolutely left as they go. If you're a socialist, left-leaning Democrat, for left Democrat, a Democrat's left, but lefter Democrat, Hawkins looks better for you right now than Biden Harris. So I think he might have helped out. He might have helped Howie Hawkins out, if anything. And Howie Hawkins also has a black female as running mate. So maybe, who knows? I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh yeah. Law and Order. Thank you, James. That's the next thing. The other thing he did is Trump was talking about he's a law and order president. Now he's going to say, I got a cop. I got the law and order person right here. What are you talking about? Who can fix the police better than Kamala Harris? But while I don't believe that, I think that will be the story, right? I think that will be the story. The story will be that she can fix it because she's part of law enforcement. I think, cops will support her. I think that's the story they'll tell. And I think people are going to buy it. And then I think it's a good thing for them. I'm not sure it hurt Trump. I think it might have helped Howie Hawkins. If this doesn't drive people to the LBT, nothing will. I hope so. I do. I hope that's true. I don't know if they'll go. The problem is if you're a moderate Democrat, this is not a bad ticket for you if you're a moderate Democrat. If you're a left Democrat, Hawkins looks better, right? Hawkins looks better. If you're a Republican, you're going Trump. The odds of you, unless you're just a never Trumper, if you're a never Trumper Republican, then this still looks good to you. Kamala Harris, it's fine if you're a Republican, right? Fine, whatever. She's not talking socialism. She's about law and order. If you're a never Trumper, you'll take Kamala Harris. So I think this is a ticket that people who are Republicans who don't hate Democrats would consider they'll hold their nose and vote if they don't like Trump. So it isn't that bad. So I'm disappointed you're not running for president, but joining as your VP. Thank you. Man, you never know. 2024, maybe I'll be up against Kamala Harris. Maybe. Who knows? I hope not. Wow, I hope not. But maybe. Yes. So Biden chooses I was that little girl Harris as his running mate. LOL. Remember, she got taken out by Tulsi Gabbard. Yes, when her record of keeping people locked up to be in prison labor by denying them parole got exposed. Yeah, Edison, I didn't forget that. I didn't forget she's a cop. This is why I said early on, this is not a respect to the black community. This is we don't care about you. You're going to vote for us anyway, so be quiet. I checked the box. She's a black woman, right? So just vote for us. That's what this is. This is not a push to that. I'm not sure. I think, look, clearly libertarians hate Kamala Harris. Clearly that's true. I get it. I'm one of them. I totally get it. But I'm not sure the rest of the country feels that way. I'm not sure the rest. I mean, most people who are Trump supporters don't care who Biden picked. There was no way they were going to vote for Biden anyway. So that group of people is, who cares? The group of people who were going to vote for Biden anyway, they don't care. They just hate Trump. They don't care who he picks. The question is those people who are further left, who are unhappy because Bernie got booted, right? Are those people okay with this? I think no. But they might hold their nose to do it anyway because they hate Trump. They might. And is there any middle ground people? Are there police officers who hate Trump? But not much. Most law enforcement like Trump. So I'm not sure that her law enforcement street cred gets much. I'm not sure it does. I think this helps out Howie Hawkins more than anything else. So he said he would do this. Only campaign promise he'll keep. That, Lynn, yes, that's probably true. See, I'm honest. Well, maybe not. Yes. Yes. How do you think Joe will feel when he's told who he picked? It's very good. Yes, he'll be like, oh, her? Oh, okay. That's who I am? Oh, when does this movie end? Absolutely. Yeah. All right. This could be the same scenario as when Walter Mondale chose Geraldine Ferraro. I remember that. Yes. Ferraro actually brought more to the ticket than Mondale. Harris, much like Ferraro, will decisively bring more aptitude to the Democratic ticket than Biden. This may usher a second Trump turn. You know, I think that might be true. However, if you look at Mondale, I mean, Reagan was liked by Democrats and Republicans, right? I mean, if you remember Reagan, it was a saying, you know, Reagan Democrat, right? That was a thing. Most Democrats do not like Trump. I'm not sure that analogy works when you have the Democrats hating Trump so much. Left Democrats hated Reagan, but more middle of the road Democrats didn't hate Reagan. So they would vote for him, and they did. I mean, that actually happened. So I'm not sure. Yeah. Everyone was hoping for Rice. I was, because I think Rice is a bad politician, right? So she will have no chance of actually winning in 2024. If Biden wins in 2020, she's no chance of winning in 2024. She's a terrible politician. She can't raise money. She's bad at she's terrible. So that's why I wanted Rice, because that would be the end of that piece. It's done, right? There'd be nothing else left. That's why I wanted Rice, because I agree with you. I think we did want Rice. But she's a neocon, but so what? And if they lose, right? If Biden loses and Trump wins, then Rice is old news. She's gone. But if Trump wins, Kamala's not finished, right? Running for president and vice president. Look at Stephanie Abrams. She ran for governor and lost, and she's still a player in the Democratic Party. Kamala, no matter what, still a player. Even if Trump wins, she's a player and maybe on a stage again in 2024 for president. You put Rice in there, she's finished. So I agree with you, Stephanie. I wish it was Rice. Yes. I don't think she wants to defund the police. She was the police. I don't think she wants to. Remember, the reality of it is, even Biden walked away from that. If you look at what the Democrats are doing this year, they are pushing away the far left and saying, you're going to vote for us anyway because you hate Trump. So they're trying to move more towards what they feel is Democrat center. It's still socialist, but it's like socialist light, if that makes any sense. So they're trying to move towards what they consider Democrat center, because there are a lot of people in the Democratic Party who don't want to go full socialist. A big chunk of people who just don't, and they get turned off. So now you move to that kind of center Democrat. They don't like Trump. This becomes a much juicier piece. So I don't think she does. So, In 4 years, in 4 weeks. That's very good. So maybe, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if he'll last 4 years, but maybe that's good. All right. I think there were better options in the Democratic Party, but honestly, what did we expect from the two-party system? It always comes out as the devil versus the Antichrist. Harris is definitely too socialist in my blood. I would agree with you. I think almost there are very few Democrats that aren't too socialist for me. Very few. But I mean, if I got to pick, if I had to pick a Democrat, Biden isn't a bad Democrat. If he was a bit younger, he's not a bad Democrat as far as Democrats go. He's a mediocre. Sorry, he's not bad for a Democrat. He's just a regular Democrat. Harris is, though, she's a drug warrior, right? And proud drug warrior. She had no problem putting tons of brown people in jail and was proud of it. So that's a problem. Biden wrote all the laws, but he walked away from it. So I don't know. They're both bad. I ran out of shits to give. Yeah, I mean, is it going to matter in the end? I'm not sure. I'm unsure that his pick changes much. I'm unsure. I think it helps out Howie Hawkins, who's clearly the furthest left now running, is Howie Hawkins clearly. So if you're a far left socialist Democrat, it looks like Howie Hawkins is your guy now, assuming that you don't care about trying to get wasted vote, assuming you don't care about that wasted vote garbage, then Howie is probably your guy if you're far left. But I'm unsure. It does show again, though, and I say this to my people, African American community, my black brothers and sisters, please stop voting Democrat. They've just blown us off again. Again, they've blown us off. Again, blown us off. So we could stop now. If you want, now would be the time to stop. This year, great year to stop voting 95% Democrat or whatever the numbers are now. I don't know if they're probably higher now. Good time this year to stop doing that. Absolutely. What's the worst thing she would do as VP? Yeah, put her in charge of the drug war, and we're going to, tone down the drug war. Yeah. You think she's going to make sure cannabis comes off Schedule 1? How many people think she put in jail because of cannabis? That's the worst thing she'll do. Ensure the drug war never ends. That's the worst thing she'll do. It's if it never ends. That's it. All right. Neither president candidate intends to do anything about human trafficking and pedophilia. I think that's not even a thing. People don't care at all about that. They don't want to open up that at all. That's a non-starter. You're right. Non-starter. Absolutely. That's like you might as well say get the aliens out of Area 51. That's how much of a non-starter that is. I think you're right. Non-starter. Yes. How are you going to sell the Dem ticket to defund the policers? This is a perfect thing. So I'm saying, right? They have actually gone against the far left within their party. They're much more middle of the road right now. I think you're totally right, Travis. They're not going to. They're going to ignore it. They're going to hope the far left has a hatred of Trump that they'll hold their nose, show up and vote. Now, to be forward, that didn't work in 2016. They tried exactly the same game plan in 2016. They blew off Bernie, said the far left, they'll just come to us anyway. They won't vote for Trump. A bunch of them stayed home. A bunch of them voted for Trump, and not enough of them voted for Hillary for them. So they're not going to. They're trying the same game plan. They're hoping that now the environment is different. This is their hope. The environment's different, so this time the plan will work. I don't know if it will, but the environment is different. I mean, I live in New York City. I know a lot of Democrats. Most Democrats, I'm talking of in my world only. So I'm obviously biased. I live in a huge blue city. But in my world, the Democrats that I know, vote blue no matter who is absolutely landing for the average Democrat in my world. Now, again, I don't know whether that does that fly in West Virginia, Pennsylvania. I don't know. But in New York City, that's flying. Vote blue no matter who's working. So even though the people want to defund the police, they're not going to vote Trump. They're just going to go hold their nose and vote Biden, or they won't show up. And this will crush Democrats if they don't. Not New York City, obviously. Biden gets New York no matter what we do. That's what happens with New York. But other states, will they show up? I don't know. I think they'll do something like I said. They'll say, "Oh, Kamala, she'll be able to communicate with the police and fix things. He'll sick her on them," and that's the story they'll tell. Travis, will it work? I don't know, but I think that's the story they'll tell. Identity politics. Rebecca, he checked the box, didn't he? You can be mad, but he checked the box. To our earlier point, he said he would do it, and he did it. He checked the box. Absolutely, absolutely. So I think Trump is going to hammer her on being not the most qualified, but the most qualified black woman. Maybe, right? Maybe. I think there's a part of that. But does Trump want to lean into the race card? I don't think he does. I think he leans into she's a bad person, because the problem is they've already painted Trump as a racist. So do you want to lean in? I think you don't. Not in today's world. The environment's just bad at this. I mean, you look wrong with somebody, you're a racist. So really, and the word racism has grown. I mean, what people take as what is racism has been broadened. Do you really want to lean into that? I don't think it does. I think he focuses on her being a bad person, or, and he's already talked about it already, how she's, done bad things and she wants to, Medicare for all or whatever. I think he'll go down that road. I think more than anything else. I don't think he wants to lean into racist. Not around now. I don't think so. Abrams was a mess. I agree. However, I think it's going to sound bad. Please take this the right way. I think she understood the black experience far more than made any sense. I think she's closer, right? Joshua, yep, she was no good. Yes, Abrams was would have been much more of a gift, if that makes any sense, to left Democrat black voters. That's for sure. But Harris was not 100%. Yes, they're going to have Biden win and then resign. Then Harris will be at the top and can select her own VP. It's the Frank Underwood maneuver. Oh my God, Brandon! I so hope you are wrong. Please be wrong. Don't be wrong. That would be an amazing maneuver if they actually did it. And I would be horrified and at the same time thoroughly impressed with both of those. I would be completely horrified and I'd be thoroughly impressed they actually played that game. That would be crazy. Middle fingers in the black community. Yes, absolutely. We've been screwing you over for how many years now? 60 years, 70 years, whatever it's been. And shut up and keep going. Yes, that's what it's going to be. Absolutely. Yeah. Abrams, I'm not sure I would have said better, but at least if you're going to show that you care about Democrat voters, black voters who are Democrats, you pick someone like Abrams, who's Southern, who's black. You pick her if that's what you're doing, right? Kamala was the safest black person you can find. I mean, clearly, Rice was right next to that, but she was the safest. Absolutely, yes. I cannot stand the woman's voting history. Oh, yeah, I didn't even thought about that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there we go. Yes, absolutely. Good one. All right. The only thing Harris adds to the Biden ticket is melanin, and that's the checkbox, Steffi. That's the checkbox. But I think she also does add I'm the law and order person, right? Because look, Trump is running on law and order. The city's crashing all around. Trump is running on law and order, so he's gonna throw that piece. Absolutely, he's gonna do that. So Larry, you are very uninformed. Look at her record as DA. In second thought, don't run for mayor. I'm not sure I'm uninformed, John. Please help me out. Yes, tell me what her record was that I'm so uninformed. I'm not sure he even cared. This is a checkbox more than anything else. So, hold on. So he's going to tout a rather over-aggressive DA who admitted she was smoking dope during a law enforcement tenure. Yeah. She's, yes. What can you say? I think you just handed it to Trump. How does the Progressive Party pick someone who? See, yes, Austin. See, you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, right? The Democrats are trying to go back, and I don't know if it's going to work. They thought it would work in 2016. It didn't. They believe it's going to work this time, and it might. Who knows? I can't. I'm not. I didn't think Trump was going to win in 2016. So I was wrong last time too. So I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not calling it. There's no way I'm calling this one, right? I was wrong last time. I'm not going to call it this time. But this is not a progressive ticket. Again, relative to Democrats, right? This is still progressive, but compared to the average Democrat, this is not progressive. I think that's true. Yes. Then a VP that laughs at locking parents up for kids missing school. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. All right. Trump or end of America? Oh my God. John, I hope you're wrong. I hope this is not end of America. I hope you're wrong. I mean, you might be right, but I hope you're wrong. I don't want to believe. My only hope is, right, that once the COVID response and damage that is done to our country, once that's done, and I hope it's soon that we kind of can get back to some form of normalcy. John, I hope we'll start rethinking. I really do. Right now, I think many people, and again, this is just my world. You guys have your own world, people you're talking to. But I think a lot of people are just reacting. And I want to get back to people trying to have some thoughts and not just reacting so much. Yes. With Kamala Harris now the vice nominee, there's a high chance Donald Trump might get reelected. Maybe. However, Joe Jorgensen can kick into high gear. We can hope to get a libertarian in the Oval Office. Let's hope Joe can win this. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. It would be interesting to see Trump run against a black female. Yeah. Republican lights love the Biden ticket. That's true. I think if you're a Republican, but you're not a strong Republican, and there are a lot of people who kind of float there. That's true. And if they don't like Trump, then this is a ticket that they would actually hold their nose for and vote for. That's true. This is a ticket that a Republican who doesn't like Trump would consider voting for this ticket. I agree. Or maybe just go home. Love that shirt. Thank you. Yes, this shirt, by the way, for those you don't know, I'll see if I can pop it so you can see it. It is George Washington, Gandhi, and MLK, and it says illegal isn't always wrong. All three of these men were criminals. And I wore it for Kamala Harris, who would have put all of these men in jail. Yes, and locked them up and thrown away the key. Because illegal isn't always wrong. It is sometimes wrong, don't get me wrong. It is, but not always. And all three of these men were enemies of the state in each case. And I'm okay with all three of them. So yes, thank you for noticing this shirt. I appreciate it. That was a Kamala Harris special shirt, just for her. Absolutely, yes. So obviously, please, as I say, please like, comment, and share. Please like, comment, and share. I'm talking about it all the time. Please keep going. Yes. Do you think Kamala was their pick all along, and they know Biden would eventually fold, giving her the seat when he proves unfit? Got to be part of the plan, right? I don't think so. I think they actually were looking at what was going to happen. They were looking at Democrats. And again, I know a lot of them. I live in New York City. There are a lot of Democrats. Democrats, they want to get rid of Trump. That's the number one thing. Over personal, over everything. They want to get rid of Trump. I know a lot of Republicans joke and call, Trump derangement syndrome as kind of a joke. And I'm not saying that's true. What I'm saying is there really, though, is a serious hatred of Trump. I know people who almost every day literally post bad things about Trump on social media every day, like they get up in the morning, okay, Trump is the bad guy for whatever reason. So that does it's not Trump derangement syndrome, obviously, but there is an absolute hatred of Trump on the left. I think that was a number one issue. They thought, what could we do to maximize the opportunity of that? Plus, on top of it, what I think many Democrats want is they don't want to just beat Trump. This is vindictive. They want to devastate him. They want it to be, 400 to 140, or they want devastation. And they also want to go back to the good old days of Obama Biden. And see, this is Kamala Biden. So it's the same thing. We putting a band back together. It's Lethal Weapon 3, right? That's what they're trying to do. No Joe Pesci. Was he in 3 or 2? He was in 3, right? No Joe Pesci, right? But this is what it is now. And while that may be joking, there is a part of the Democratic establishment that really wants to go back to that. And I think this is their hope. And if they can make it happen, then you know what? Trump never happened. Trump was he was an anomaly, and they can make that the case. Even though in reality, if you look at what's happened throughout the last at least 12 years, America has been looking for something to break the system. Obama, they thought was that in 2008. That clearly was not it. Trump was that in 2016. And I think the only reason why this has a real shot is because of COVID. I think the COVID response has busted up the psyche of America and has broken things up so much in America that now this is the old, was it from the 20s, was it? Return to normalcy, right? They just want to go back to I want to go to work and make money and send my kid to school. What do I do to do that? Who do I have to vote to make that happen? And that's one of the reasons why Trump is pushing, let's get back to normal, because he knows that too. America is looking to get back to normal. That's what they're trying to do. If they can paint, if Democrats can paint, and you see them trying, if any of you ever watch CNN or MSNBC, I watch all the news because I do this. So if you ever watch CNN on MSNBC, they are going out of their way to paint COVID as this is all Trump's fault. The goal is to make people believe, right, the world's ending. That's their goal, right? And Trump did it all. And then they'll all vote for him instead. Yes. Let's see. I was hoping Biden would have picked someone that I would feel less bad about giving him a vote in PA as a battleground state. Now I'm not sure I can. Jojo Batwoman. There we go. Well, then that's a good thing then. That if more people are going to vote Libertarian, if that's true, I don't know that to be true, but if that's true, then I've changed my mind. I am all about go Kamala. If that's going to get it, 100%. Absolutely, yes. If you run in 2024, you have my vote. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. No mention of JoJo. I don't hear people talking about her that much in my world, right? In my world, I don't hear much at all. I don't hear much about it at all in my world. Again, in my world of Democrats, it's all about got to vote blue no matter who. Got to vote blue no matter who. They don't want it blue no matter who. That's what I hear. So if the Democratic Party actually supported criminal justice reform, how could they pick these two as candidates? Yes. Could they be the best representation of injustice in the system? Kenny, yes. This is 100% correct. If you were to say you actually cared about criminal justice reform, this is probably the worst ticket. The guy who wrote the laws and the gal who enforced them, right? I know a lot of you watching don't like Trump. I know. But when it comes to criminal justice reform, he's done more than both of them combined. I'm not, you guys know I'm voting for Jorgensen. You know I'm voting for Jorgensen. Of course I am. Just saying, I'm giving people credit where credit is due. When it comes to criminal justice, Trump's done more than these guys combined. Trump's done more in 4 years, and they've done in, what, they've been 30 years, 40 years, combined 70 years, whatever they've been in. Yes, you're totally correct. That's 100% true. The Ohio Libertarian Party called it over a year ago. All right, there we go, Joshua. You guys are on board. I love it. Yes. At least the Libertarian Party has the balls for a woman candidate out there. True. Very good, Tammy. I completely agree. Yes. Yeah. All right. Tulsi was an amazing choice. I wish that was his pick. I agree. As far as Democrats go, Tulsi's one of the best ones, right? I know some of you are like, oh, Democrats are terrible. I'm just saying, as Democrats go, clearly one of the best Democrats there are out there. If you're going to have a Democrat, I wish more would like Tulsi. You'd have better Democrats. Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. Unfortunately, until we fix the committee on presidential elections, I don't have much faith in her winning. Okay, you're my JoJo. Okay, yeah. It's tough. 90 debates is hard. It's a tough one. Absolutely. Yeah. I've already seen comments from some extremely lefties saying they're unhappy with Kamala. That's my point. This is not a far left ticket. The Republicans are going to have to act like it's the furthest left ticket in the world because they know that there are a lot of Democrats who don't want to go that far left. And they're going to say, oh, these people are going to hide. And to be forward, they might be. It's possible that the Democrat establishment actually is further left, right? Is further left. And they're putting this up as a front so they can move further up. That's possible. But history has shown the reverse tends to be true. Presidents tend to move towards the middle from whatever rhetoric they've been spewing before when they got into power. As a general rule, they tend to move more towards the middle. It's not a 100% rule. So I think the odds are that Kamala and Biden are not, I'm sorry, Harris, Biden, are not that far left. Again, relative to Democrats. That's what I'm assuming. But you never know. But you're right. The far left, Howie looks better for them. Howie looks better for them. Yeah. Trump support an easy 43. 57% other with a split from aggressive is a loss. Yeah, maybe. Look, Trump has held his percentages his entire, 3.5 years. He's held it the entire time. He has been, he lost here, gained here or there, but he's been solid. Most Republicans, by wide margins, most Republicans still support Trump, still like Trump, are going to vote for Trump. The question is, will they show up at the polls, right? And the difference, I think, from 2016 and 2020 is in 2016, Republicans were motivated to get out there and vote, to not have Hillary, and to get rid of what they thought was a bad Obama legacy. So Republicans were rushing to the polls to do that. Do they feel that now? I don't know. Democrats are motivated to get rid of Trump. So will more of them show up? Richard, I don't know, right? Can Trump motivate his base to show up? He was at my Pence today, and in my view, Trump's smart move. I get Pence out talking to the evangelicals to get them motivated to get out there, to get the churchgoers motivated. It's a big part of Trump's base. They don't get out, he's in trouble. Absolutely. So, Kamala must have the, I'm assuming, best smelling shampoo. Well, he is going to be the smeller in chief if he wins. So I guess, yes. Yeah. Country club Republicans. I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, I think some country club Republicans are okay with a Biden ticket, right? They see him as fine, he's one of them, but he's also kind of one of us, whatevs. I think they're okay with that, right? I think they are. And I think they from what I see from the Republicans that I know in New York City. Now, obviously, a New York City Republican is not an Oklahoma Republican or a South Carolina Republican. They're different Republicans. New York State Republicans are closer. No, I'm sorry, New York City Republicans, not New York State. New York City Republicans are much closer, Rob, to what you're talking about. More closer to country club Republicans. And many of them are like, look, he's giving us the judges. If we lose him, we lose him. And I think a lot of them feel that way. As sad as that would make some of you hardcore Republicans watching, as sad as you might think, that might make you feel, I'm just telling you there's a section within the Republican Party that feels, we got the judges we want. We're good. If we lose them, whatevs. Let's go back to normalcy. So there is a chunk. What is that percentage? 5%? 10%? I don't know. So will the hardcore guys get out? The sad part is some of those country club Republicans, they don't care enough to vote. They're not motivated to vote, right? They're like, it's good enough. Whatevs. We're good. And they're going to move on. And with the crash coming, the more wealthy ones are all going to collect all the goods. As I've expressed on this show many times, the wealth gap always happens during these crashes, right? 2000 dot-com bubble, 2009, the real estate bubble, and then now the COVID self-inflicted wound debt bubble. That piece now, you're going to watch the wealthy gain even more. They don't care who the president is. Oh, fine, whatever. Is it socialist Bernie who's going to tax us into oblivion? No, then we're good. So I think some of that group may not be motivated to vote, which is one of the reasons why you're going to hear the right talk about the socialism to scare those people into voting also. So yeah. All right. I think it will. I just bet someone $1 million that this goes to the 40. Wow, really $1 million? I don't know. That's a lot of money, dude. I'm not, Stephen. I wouldn't go that far. Maybe $10. I might go there. $1 million. Oh my God. Yes. Is the DNC obligated to Harris as a VP nominee, or could they pick someone else? Biden too, for that matter. I think the rules that the Democratic Party has is as if the delegates on the first, if I remember their rules. On the first vote, if the delegates pick someone in the first vote, they must accept that person and the VP nominee. I think that's their rules. If there's any Democrats listening, the rules, please let us know. But I think that's the rules. But if there's no one picked in the first round of voting, I think then all delegates can now broker the convention and pick whomever they like. I think that's how their rules work. At the moment, Biden's going to win first round. So it's irrelevant at the moment. But if that changes, right? If they don't like it, right? If the far left kind of try to create a coup to where they can't pick Biden first round, then in theory, yes, they could adjust and shift and broker the convention and whatever, make it Bernie Gabbard or whatever. That's possible too. It could happen, but I'm not betting on that. I'm not going to take Stephen's $1 million bet on that one. Not at all. Yes. I personally think you should have chosen Rich Dolezal. Well done, Dave. Yes. See that? You check the boxes and you still get a white woman. Not too shabby, man. Dave, you're thinking. See, you should have been part of the strategist. I love it. Check the boxes and don't check the boxes. You get them both. I love that. Let's see here. Tony disagrees. On Mondale, he was objectively the best Dems could offer in 84. Maybe. And also, did you really, who wanted to go up against Reagan in 84? He was super popular. I wouldn't have wanted to be that guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that guy, right? I mean, geez, of course not. I would not want to be that guy at all. Let's see. Lots of Democrats have flipped to Trump. I've seen some. I really have. I've seen some Democrats, particularly those, as we talked about, are in the middle, right? You've got a bunch of Democrats who are far left. They're never going Trump. But you get a bunch who are kind of in the middle going, what's the push towards socialism? What are we doing here? And I know to those of you who don't spend a lot of time around Democrats, don't see there's actually a rift in the Democratic Party on this. I've heard Democrats as early as last year, before that, 2 years ago, saying things like this. Democrat, these damn liberals, meaning the far left within their party, right? That's what that Democrat means when they say these damn liberals. He's liberal too, but he means that this person's too liberal for him. So I think some of those people have moved towards Trump. I remember many of my Democrat friends literally saying, if the Democrats pick Bernie, I'm voting Trump. And these are people who are lifelong Democrats, give money to Democrats, hold fundraisers for Democrats. They were like, if they pick Bernie, I'm voting Trump. They were saying that. So I think there are some of those who've done that, Sean. I think Biden and Harris know what you're talking about. And I think that's why they picked this ticket in an attempt to go, come on, we're not Bernie. Come back. I think they knew that and they were concerned. And that's why they're worried about that, Sean. They get that and they're trying to do that. Yes. You would think that the amount of people put in prison by both of them, directly and indirectly, you would think the left wouldn't support either of them. And to be forward, Steph, the far left doesn't, but they hate Trump. And they're gambling that the far left will not just go home or won't vote Howie. That's their assumption. And again, they thought in 2016 it would work. It didn't. It might work this year. That's their hope. So the point of voting Libertarian is not to win the White House. We won't yet, but down ticket, a handful of Libertarians can help the down ticket. Just imagine what a small percentage of Libertarian candidates get placed in Congress. We can then be a force to reckon with. I agree. For those of you who've been watching what I've been doing, I've been spending so much time with local candidates. I'm doing another thing for a state party this evening. So much time with local candidates, trying to get them up and running, helping them to raise money, helping them to get their name out, helping them to put policy together. I've been spending a lot of time with local candidates because I agree with you completely, Kelly. That's our future. Absolutely. Yes. If Trump wins, imagine they're riding across the country. That will happen. 2020 could have more in store for us. Paul, I'm going to give you what I think is bad news. I think there's going to be sporadic violence no matter who wins. No matter who wins. I think no matter what, there is going to be sporadic violence. It won't be a lot, but I think there will be sporadic violence either way. I don't think we can get around it because this is such a time of people being angry and feeling like they have nothing, feeling like they're being ignored. I think no matter what, Paul, I don't think we have. I think Trump or no Trump. I think either way we have it. Yes. I hear from some of my Democrat friends that they don't care about Biden. They believe they're voting for his VP pick to be president. Ooh, that I haven't heard. That's an interesting one. So that means some people are actually going that route. Well, those people might care about Kamala. They might do what they might go Trump. I mean, in theory, right? They might. I mean, maybe. I mean, Sean thinks they might. So if they get Kamala, they might go Trump, or they might go Howie. Maybe if those Democrats might. Absolutely. I'm no longer convinced the Democratic Party will collapse. I didn't think it would collapse. I didn't. There is the youth coming up, and my daughters are in school. My oldest one's in high school now, and the battles she fights over the youth who believe that the only answer is socialism, that capitalism is evil. It's weekly, and I mean that seriously. It's weekly. She's like, "Why do you guys hate it so much?" And everything is the left. So there are a lot of recruits coming from the youth to support the Democratic Party right now. A lot of recruits are still coming in. Hopefully a good byproduct of COVID damage. I mean, nothing but bad, really, but we hope for something good, and hopefully that will be we change our school system, because it's a system of creating people who think government has every answer. So, yeah. This is set up to be a Harris versus Trump campaign. Biden sets the stage well to bait lowbrow Trump insults, which he can't help himself with, casting him as the bully. That might work, Eric, right? Trump knows how to fight. He is not a defensive guy. He fights offense. If you like Trump or don't like Trump, that's who he is. That guy comes out. He fights with offense. And I think Biden sits in the basement, throws Harris out there. Harris takes the attacks, screams and yells back. I think you're right. This might be Harris Trump. And I think it's not as much as it's a terrible idea. It may be effective. I mean, I think that because the media wants that, Eric. The media wants us to watch, and we're going to watch, and we're going to play it on YouTube, and we're going to play it on Facebook, and we're going to watch it on CNN and Fox and MSNBC. We're going to watch it in nightly news. Yeah, we're going to watch it. I think you're right, and I think we're going to watch it 100%. They did to generations of American blacks. Yeah, John. Yes, she was terrible to her own. And that's been true for 40 years, 50 years, however long the war on drugs has been going on. And you've had black prosecutors and black cops and black leaders and black mayors and black governors or whatever, right? The whole deal. And they were putting black people in jail for decades. Yes, and black people have been voting Democrat through it all. Through it all. I was talking the other day with I was on a panel with two other African-American libertarians. And one thing I brought up, which I know drives people crazy, but I'll say it. I have relatives who are conservative blacks, and they vote Democrat. I can't figure it out, but it's true. If you look at how they think conservatively. They believe in conservative values. They are conservative. They vote Democrat. So, John, yes, and the data is still there. Until we find an alternative or change how the black community thinks, it's going to be difficult. And I think this was a gamble that Biden put, and we'll see if it pays off November 3rd. We'll see if it pays off or not. Yes. Both parties are socialist light. They both bail out the big corporations. Yes. Who wasted all their money on stock buybacks? I wouldn't call that wasted. Hooked up a lot of people, made a lot of money. I would say it was really kind of unethical. Unethical, yes. Wasted, no. No. If those of you don't know, our central bank, but Larry, we don't have a central bank. Yes, the Federal Reserve, has been buying up stock in companies so they can raise the stock price, keep the stock market high. And the money that we've given to the big companies and the bailouts, they've used to buy back their stock. And for those of you who don't know this, some of you, obviously, for some of you who aren't that aware, when you buy back the stock, there's less stock in the market. And generally speaking, there are some exceptions, but generally speaking, that raises the stock value. Many of the people who are wealthy, they are paid or given some compensation based upon stock value or in stock options or price, and they borrow against it and those types of things. So the wealthy got wealthier. As I was telling you, this always happens during a pandemic or a crisis like this. This always happens. So yes, you're correct. I just wouldn't say it was. I just wouldn't say it was wasted. Yes. Democrats are sabotaging defund the police movement by not offering systematic changes. Yes. Yes. It's what you hear me say constantly. Okay, you're going to defund the police. Okay, sounds amazing. Look, I'm a libertarian. You're saying defund government? My ears are open. What's your plan? Oh, no plan. Well, how are you going to defund them? Just defund them. Okay, but then what's the plan? Oh, there's no plan. So you're not really going to do it. And that's the point, Lyndon. You really can't do it, right? You can talk it and you can shake your fist and sound, I'm against the system, vote for me. You can do that, but you don't have a plan? What are you going to do? Turn every city into Chicago? You can't do that. right? Not going to work. I completely agree. If they really wanted to defund the police, if that was real, they have a plan for it. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to fill the hole, whatever, blah, blah. There we go. Trump 2020. John, good luck, brother. He still might win this. He might win this. Right now, polls are against him. Right now, polls are against him. Polls were against him in 2016. So I don't know. We'll see. Do you think Biden is a throwaway because they know Trump will win? I don't think people know it at all. I think people are afraid. You know, if you're in the political world, and the average American obviously isn't, but if you're in the political world, 2016 was like traumatic. Trump wasn't supposed to win, right? I mean, everyone said he's not going to win, he can't win. Well, everyone thought it was, polls are this, polls are that. It was traumatic for people who thought they knew what they were doing, right? They all thought they had the answer and they had the plan. Now they're way like, I don't know what to do, which is why they're trying to overkill, which I get it. If I was a Democrat, I'd do it too. Trump is a talented campaigner, clearly, right? Clearly, he's a talented campaigner. If I was a Democrat, I'd be doubling down and trying to get extra stuff too. I'd be giving all kinds of insurance. Of course I would. I don't think Trump knows if he's going to win. I don't think Republicans know. You're finding Republicans, some of them right now, starting to hedge their bets because they're not sure either. The polls right now make it look like Trump is going to lose, but that doesn't mean he's going to lose. And I think lots of people are afraid their guy, either one, is going to lose or win. They don't know. This is why this is still going on. This is nowhere near a done deal. So I don't think so, at least, Keith. I mean, maybe you know something I don't know. But from everyone that I'm talking to that I hear, they're all like, Trump could still win this thing. Biden could win this thing. Who the hell knows? Keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And if you're a Democrat or Republican, you should keep fighting because it's not, I don't think it's clear, at least. I could be wrong. I don't think it's clear at all. Yes. All of this batshittery usually plays well for third parties. I don't know. Karen. I hope you're right. I would love to see Joe do very well because of this. I would hope that she would do very well because of this. I think this move doesn't really affect Joe much at all. This move, specifically this move, I think affects Howie more than Joe in this specific case. But I don't know. I think we'll see. So he is awful. Hello, crime bills. Yes, absolutely. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Federal legalization of marijuana, if cognitive decline, Biden wins. Not with Kamala Harris. That's another one of my big issues, right? How is top cop who put people in jail for drug crimes for X number of years, I don't know how long, was it 10 years? Whatever she was, doing that stuff, 20 years, whatever it was. She's all of a sudden going to say, oh, all those people I put in jail? Sorry. She can do that? I mean, maybe. Look, can I hope that Kamala Harris actually has a heart, decides to change, shifts? I hope. But I'm not going to do the $1 million bet like Steven does. I'm not betting on that because the odds are she's not. Can I have some hope? Yeah. If Biden wins, I hope she'll, come to the light and realize it's terrible. But I'm not betting on that. I think she's going to be the same cop she was for the past 30 years. I think nothing's going to change. I hope I'm wrong. I hope next year, if he wins, I hope next year you're going to be telling me, hey, look, Larry, you were wrong. I hope so. I just don't. I'm not sure she's going to win, but if she wins, I don't see her changing. My issues with Biden come down to the possible sexual allegations. However, I must remind myself that it is the innocent until proven guilty. This is a hard one. And the funny part is Kamala Harris has been not doing that for 20 years, and now all of a sudden she's to be that way. That being said, Trump has had substantial amounts of evidence against him in regards to this. They both have it, right? And I'm going to say what sounds horrible, but I'm just going to tell you what I think is true, right? Kaylin asked about, pedophilia and that stuff, right? I said non-starter. This, non-starter. I don't think anyone wants to open this up. They don't want to walk down this. They're not going to walk down this. They're going to walk away from all these things. They're going to focus on two things. I'm Trump. I'm not Trump. That's the focus. Everything else, I don't think anybody cares. It's not true. Sorry. I don't think the media cares. Let me rephrase that. I don't think the media cares. I don't think we're going to get enough traction. Remember, the media's job is to be seen. That's it. Joe Jorgensen will legalize marijuana. I think she would. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this, but Kamala is a cop. Yeah, that's true. Yes. Harris is like Dick Cheney. Izzy, I'm not sure on that one. I think Rice is far more like Dick Cheney. Rice is far more like Dick Cheney than I think Harris is. But Harris is a cop. That's true. Yes. Yes. It will never collapse as long as there are enough people that think government should take care of people. It will remain. Rob is 100% correct. There are a lot of people who can't even imagine an answer that doesn't include government. They can't even imagine it. I think you're totally right, Rob. That has to change. Absolutely. Yes. To me, she seems to be a Republican hiding in disguise a libertarian. I might still vote for her, but for the party's sake. You think, oh, Joe Jorgensen is a Republican? Oh. I don't see that. Oh, maybe. I'm happy to hear this. If you think she's Republican, I don't see that, but maybe I'm missing something. I'm happy to hear it. Yes. Yeah. Listen to Biden talk. The guy is a racist. He can't hide it. This VP pick is just distract from that. Both are no good for firearms and liberties. Okay. 100% both are no good for firearms and liberties. That's true. Is Biden a racist? I don't think any more than many other people. I think he's a product of his environment. I'm not trying to put that down. That sounds terrible, but I don't think people are going to care as much. Again, this is another issue that I think people just don't care about. They're focusing on, you hear it. This is the most important election of our lifetime. So what? Blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if they even hear it. But again, you think about, Biden was in the Senate with segregationists. So I'm sure that colored his view on how far he could push racial issues. But I do think picking a woman and picking someone of color is kind of a cover. I think you're right. It's kind of a distraction of, look, how can I be racist? My VP is black. How can I be a womanizer? My VP is a woman. I think you're going to hear a lot of that. And I think when people come up with that, oh, but he's this, but he's that, the response is going to be, look at Kamala already. Look at Kamala. Shh, look at Kamala. I think that will be the answer line. I think you have a valid point there. Yes. Wonder if she gets money from the prison industry. That, Lyndon, is actually a very interesting. I like that. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna figure that one out. Okay, good. All right. She will flip flop on her drug views and appeals to the base. I don't like her, but she'll go soft in the drug crimes and marijuana. Pete, I hope you're right. I do. I hope if Biden actually wins this thing, I hope you're right. My fear is you're not going to teach the old dog new tricks. That's my fear. I hope you're right. Look, if Biden wins, I'm going to have the best hope possible for Harris. I hope she does a good job. I hope she moves towards liberty. I mean, she's not a libertarian. So I'm not going to get a libertarian. So if I can get a not horrible Democrat, I guess I'll take it if that's what I can get. But reality of it is the liberty movement's got to keep going. This is just more proof that we have more work to do, Pete. We got more work to do. We got to keep going. Yes. She's very boring. Biden's incapable of speaking for longer than 2 minutes. Only problem is the TDS voters. Yes, Sean, you're right. Still Trump wins. The social media is much more attractive on the conservative side. This is a good point. There's a joke, a joke meme out there, which is semi-true, Sean, which is the left can't meme or the left is bad at memeing or something like that. I've got it wrong. I'm too old. I've blown it. But there's something like that. And it's kind of true. The right is better at the meme and that's accurate. I think you see that's very true. The left, I'm sure, is trying to learn, but they're not that good at that. They're not. But the TikTokers, they're the lefties. We'll see if they may make something happen. We'll see. But I do think social media being a big deal does give the right an advantage in that regard. I think that's true. Two pro-authoritarians who love to oppress Americans. Yeah, pretty much true. Yep. All right. Let's see here. Let's get down to brass tacks, talking about the elephant in the room. What is the game plan to fix our economy post-COVID? There is none. There's none. There's none. Don't even imagine that. The only person who had a plan to fix this was the guy you're talking to right now. This guy. I gave you a plan 6 months ago. 6 months ago, how to fix this thing. They ignored it. No. We are going to go into a horrible economic downturn coming up here in about a year or two. Give or take, about a year. You're going to see it all begin to collapse. Rent's not getting paid. People abandoning houses. It's going to be terrible. The rich will gobble up a bunch of assets. It'll be horrible. We'll come out of it eventually because we always do, but it's going to be bad. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. I don't understand how they convinced Biden to run. Even he has to realize his dementia is liability. Who votes for someone with dementia to run for the entire nation? I think it goes back to what Sean said, right? You have people who just don't want Trump. And I said it before. Trump could be a ham sandwich. Biden could be a ham sandwich. He is just a placeholder. That's what they care about. Get rid of him. That's what matters. Yeah. Hillary is smiling, but wasn't eating her heart out. Yeah. Can you imagine if Biden and Harris beat Trump and Hillary goes, damn it. Right? Damn it. Yes. Imagine how she feels. I wonder if this is a part of Hillary hoping that Biden loses. I don't know this. I don't know Hillary at all. I have no idea if it's true. I wonder what you're saying, Frank. Is there a part of Hillary going, I hope you lose. Hope Trump beat you like he beat me. Is there a part of her doing that? Who knows? Yeah. All right. Let's see. She is full on an establishment pick. Yes, she could have been a Republican pick. It's, yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Trump's a Democrat. When did that happen? Okay. John, I love it. I don't remember that happening, but okay. I love it. Gary, oh, Gary, where are you, man? I would love Gary Johnson. Oh, my God. I'm a big Gary Johnson fan. I don't think he's beaten Trump or Biden, but fine. I would love to have him, too. I'm a big Gary Johnson fan. You know that. I love Gary Johnson. Happy to have him. Yeah. Portland is blue no matter who as well. Guys, I'm hearing it in my city. Portland, too. That stuff's working. The cities are going to go blue. They are all about blue no matter who. It is going everywhere. Absolutely. Yep. You hearing it, Joe, New York City? Yes, I hear it too. The blue no matter who thing is actually working. I wish it wasn't. I wish we were thinking, but they're not. They're reacting. They're not thinking. They're reacting. It's blue no matter who. That's what it is. Absolutely. It's blue no matter who. That's what they're doing. It is horrible. Yes. Democratic Party follow the rules. That's a joke. It's true. They'll pick who they want. That's true. I get it. It's a valid point. Yes. Yes. Part of me wants Biden to win just so the left ends their 4-year temper tantrum. Another part of me wants to vote for Trump to spite the left. Fortunately, I don't have to vote for either of them. Go gold. I agree. I'm with you, Paul. I'm with you. Absolutely. By the way, I wonder if John Kasich know who Joe Jorgensen is. I have a feeling he should be backing her instead of Biden. Yeah, but I'm not a big Kasich fan. Not a big deal. Yes. NBC says Kamala Harris, a pragmatic progressive, different from Biden in many ways. Look at this. She's a pragmatic progressive. Isn't that nice how NBC just painted her? Thank you, Astar. I appreciate that. Yes. See that? She's a pragmatic progressive. How can anyone not like that? Ooh, absolutely. Yes. All right. I think both parties of this election may see a split in the parties. I think you already see a split in both parties. The split is just, there's a harsher split in the Republican side because the people who are anti-Trump in the Republican side, they are vitriolic. They are really anti-Trump. I mean, so I think the split in the Republican Party is smaller, right? The vast majority of Republicans do support Trump. There's a small percentage that don't, and they are loud and mad and angry and vitriolic. The Democratic Party is split more in the middle-ish, but they're not so vitriolic against each other. They're much more like, fine, whatever. And I think what unites them is what Sean was talking about. They're united against Trump. So the split in the Democratic Party is more close to the middle, but it's not as aggressive because they're united against Trump. The Republican Party split, but it's a small sliver that doesn't support Trump. But that sliver is mad. That sliver is, they're like, we want to go back to the way it was before Trump. They are establishment Republicans, and they are angry. So I think that's what I see, at least in the party. Maybe you guys see it differently. That's what I see. So, Gabbard Sharpe. There we go. Let's tell Gabbard that, not me. Absolutely. So, yes, I love that. 2024. There we go. All right. Let's see. See such an authoritarian, dismal record in California. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Biden-Harris 2020, not a good time to be a black man. I would agree. I absolutely would agree. 100%. All right. Trump is not a politician. That's true. That's true. Middle Democrats crossed over for Trump. Yep. Biden's attempting to bring the crossover voters back to Democrats. Frank, I think your analysis is spot on. He's trying to get the people in the middle who aren't, who don't say, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, who just go, I lean left or lean right, and I just want things to go back. I think many of them voted for Trump in 2016 because they didn't like Hillary. I think you're right. And this is Biden's attempt to get them back. Again, in 2016, it didn't work. They tried it. Who knows what will work now? But I think that is the plan. Absolutely. That is absolutely the plan. Yes. Do you believe this strengthens their chances with the black vote, or will this for once move many blacks to the right, knowing both of their track records? Corey, I hope that I want the black community to stop voting Democrat in bulk. Not because Republicans and Democrats are better, because here's what actually happens. The vast majority of Republican candidates ignore the black community. Why? They're not going to get the black community vote. So why spend time with the black community? The vast majority ignore the black community, right? Some don't. Don't get me wrong. This is not every Republican. But if you went down the road of 100 Republicans, 90 basically ignore the black vote because they're not going to get it. They don't spend any time. 10 try to get the black vote. Democrats only care about black people when there's an election. Otherwise, the black community means nothing. When there's an election, they care. Oh, see, look at me. I got a black friend. Oh, look at me. Then they love the black community. But both of them keep putting people in jail. And the reason is not for the jail part, but the reason why they ignore the black community is because 95% of the black population votes Democrat every time they vote. Well, imagine, I said this years ago before I was libertarian. I said this in the 90s because I was all mad. I wanted Nader to win. I wanted Perot to win. I was the rebel guy in the 90s. I was upset before I was a libertarian. I didn't become a libertarian until 2012. So prior to that, I was like, all black people, we should all vote Republican this year or something like that. Oh, we should all vote green this year. We should all vote whatever this year. We should all vote something. And everybody thought I was crazy. It's like, let's all vote Republican this year. Let's do it all. Like, yeah, you're nuts. And they're like, why? I said, if we all voted Republican 1 year, just all vote Republican 1 year, Republicans would go, whoa, I could get that vote. I didn't know I could get that vote. Okay, let me start having some conversations now. I didn't know I could get that vote. Let me start talking. Democrats would go, oh, whoa, I don't just get that vote. I don't just deserve that vote. I better actually have some policies that affect these communities, make them better. So we could have made the entire black community better by not just handing a vote to the left every single time. And the problem is, for those who don't know this has been a problem in the black community for decades. It used to be Republicans, right? The party of Lincoln. So many black voters just vote Republican for decades and then swap and just vote Democrats for decades. So it is a problem, and I wish we could fix it. I'm not sure this is the time. I can hope, but I don't know. My gut tells me if the black community switches the vote this year, my gut tells me it'll go green because Howie Hawkins has a black vice president candidate also. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let's see. We need to find a way to break up the bipartisan political system. Our country needs more options. I would agree 100%. Absolutely. I think you are right about the violence. Our politicians have become so polarized. It's a huge short-term and long-term problem for our country. Yes, absolutely. It is a huge problem. I totally agree. And my view has always been the answer is Libertarian Party. The Liberty Movement is the only movement that allows you to be who you want to be without trying to force you. Why are so many people on the right scared of the left? There's so many people on the left scared of the right because they're afraid that the other is going to enforce their will upon them. And they're right. And they're right. They're afraid, and they should be. It is a valid fear. That's going to happen. Yes. Yes. So how about instead libertarians who will not enforce their will upon you, who will allow you to be you? Just don't mess with others. Leave the other people alone. Do what you got to do. Do you. Just don't stop anybody else from doing them. And we're good. That is, I think, our only chance, Michael. I think that's the way that we begin to move the country out of, so I can just, why do you think on this show, making so many of you angry, I bring on people who are Democrats, Republicans, socialists? Why do I bring them on? Many reasons. Number one, I want the people who watch this show to understand that the people who don't think like them are still people. They're wrong, but they're still people who believe that what they're doing is the right thing for the right reasons and getting stuff done. And it helps us to see it and get it, because many of us sit in our bubble with our own friends and all we know is what we think, and we think we're always right. Well, we might be right. Well, for libertarians, we're always right. But it doesn't matter. The point is, that's number one. Number two, I want people who follow them to talk to us, interact with us, so they can see that we're humans, going back and forth. We can't fix this country if we can't talk to everybody. I don't want to fight the right. I don't want to fight the left. I don't want to do that. They're Americans. I'm going to bring them all together and sit them down and say, can we just stop fighting? But Larry, I want my world to be conservative. Let it be conservative. I want mine to be liberal. Let it be liberal. Just leave each other alone. And when you want to cross over, you can cross over. And when you want to be more liberal or less liberal or more conservative, go ahead. Just leave each other alone. I think that's the answer for our country. That's why I spend so much time doing this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Don't forget that academia is left. They teach the youth to be left. A lot of them do. That's true. It's not 100%, but it's a huge chunk. It's a big chunk, but not 100%. I want to be clear. It is a lot. Absolutely. So, all right. What's good, Larry? You're American, not African American. Depends who you talk to, brother. Depends who you talk to. That's what I am. Depends who you talk to. Sometimes I'm a word that's not even worse than that. All depends on who you talk to. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Chris, I'm white, married to an African American woman who's conservative in a career military, but votes Democratic. Yes. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, I wasn't making that up. That's a thing. That's a thing. Yes, that's a thing. John, I was off. Okay, wrong one. Sorry about that. If Biden miraculously wins, Biden will either retire because of age, dementia in the middle of his term, and Kamala will be president and run in 2024. I don't doubt that one, right, Tony? I don't doubt that he begins to step down early on to kind of put her into the right role or set her up for the next one. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so upset about her being the pick, to be forward with you. I think she has an actual chance of being president one day. And oh my God, that's horrible. But I think that, again, I would rather have had Rice. At least Rice has no shot of doing this. Rice would just collapse the 4 years. She's done. But Harris is forward, aggressive, smart, savvy. Yeah, and if he sets her up to be a leader, a year or two before the election, oh my God, Tony, I agree with you. I think that would be. That's why I'm so upset. And she knows how to raise money, and she's won elections before. I'm not happy with this one. She is smug and unlikable. Yeah, but she wins with Democrats though. I mean, she won in California, right? Largest state we have. I don't think it's that crazy to imagine that she could actually win another election. I think she could. I think it's absolutely possible. So John's going to win. John says Trump's going to win 150%. All right, then. Take that bet, Stephen. You're going to win $1 million. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Yes. All right. So get this Republicans off my nice libertarian page. Stop that. No. Republicans, stay on my page. Stay on my page. I want you on my page. Democrats, stay on my page. Don't leave. Don't leave. Stay, stay, stay. I want you to stay. Now, speaking of staying, I can't stay anymore. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. It's 8:30. I'm going to call quits for the evening. I got to go do a training with a bunch of local candidates. Like I told you that I'm always trying to do. Local is everything. That's where I'm going to be heading. Thank you so much for watching. Head over to patreon.com/sharpeway. If you like what I'm talking about, if you're enjoying the conversation, if you like the way I'm talking, please support the show. It does matter. It is important. Like, comment, and share. Let people know I'm doing this. And if you can throw me a couple bucks, please do so. If you can't, like, comment, share. Have a good night.